What's up guys? Today we're going to be talking about my video game collection and specifically my handheld collections because my video game systems that's going to be for a different video. So yes, today let's go ahead and get started with my video game collection. I'm going to try and go from the oldest to the newest. So the first thing I ever got when I was a kid, if I can get this, the Game Gear. This was my first handheld ever. I always wanted a Game Boy, but I never got it. And then I just really got into the Sega Genesis. I really became a Sonic fan, so I absolutely love this. Is just near and dear to my heart. This one isn't the one that I got actually. When I was a kid, I lost it, and I ended up buying one from a garage sale. I don't know if you've seen that video, but I found one, and unfortunately, it's not working. And here are some of the games. We have Sonic 2. I'm gonna put it toward this camera. So this was my first device and I needed to have it. So I'm glad I found one of these. The next device I got, this is also found at a garage sale. Here's the original DMG Game Boy in the yellow color. This one still works, which is amazing. And it came with Mortal Kombat. So here are the games that I had as a kid. Obviously Super Mario Brothers. This one right here is absolutely amazing. Another classic. I got Zelda. This one I haven't beaten yet, believe it or not, and I'm making my way through the missions or through the game trying to beat that one. Again, another classic, Donkey Land. I love the yellow, it goes really well with the Game Boy. Tetris Attack. This is my favorite Tetris game. I spent many hours playing that as a kid. This is a classic, the old school Donkey Kong. I don't know how much it's worth, probably not much, but a classic nonetheless. Now, this is weird, I have two Pokemon Blues. When I was a kid, I had the red one, and again, I don't know where that one went, but yeah, I have two, and these are not fake copies, these are the original. This one's in a case because it's in better condition, but I think this is worth like something like 80, 90 bucks, which is crazy, but this, I spent many hours playing with the Game Boy. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that to the side, and I guess I'm just gonna go right into it, whatever's nearest to me. So, this one is such a cool device. This is the Game Boy Color, but I put an IPS shell around it, and I added some new buttons, and the best part about it, let me go ahead and turn this on, is its color screen. This I wish I had when I was a kid. It would have been so much easier because for people who remember, when you're playing Game Boy back in the day, oh my gosh, you needed decent sunlight. It was very difficult to get it just right so you can get that picture perfect, crystal clear screen. But with something like this, it's absolutely awesome. And the details on this, like I don't know if you can see this, but I added all of these stickers to make it look as authentic as possible, and I love this Game Boy. This one is such a cool collector's item. I love the colors, just everything about it is absolutely amazing. Okay, so next let's just go ahead and grab it. So this one right here, this was my introduction to emulation. I didn't know much about emulation until I saw this. The original Mii Mini, and everyone was going nuts. It was so difficult to find, and somehow I finally managed to find one. I added some Sakura retro modding, PlayStation buttons. There's a PlayStation logo right over here. This guy I just fell in love with, and I really became passionate about emulation. And it's kind of unfortunate with what's happening right now in the emulation space. I'm hoping that some good news is on the horizon, but right now, you know, I'm doing what everybody, or at least what I think everybody else is doing, is just kind of making my own library, if you will. And I found a cool, this is just a playing card case holder, and it fits the Mii Mini perfectly. So I was really happy about that. Next on the list, we got my, oh man, I love this one. I put so much money into this. Originally it was 50 bucks, but now it's with everything on it, it's probably worth more like $150, which is ridiculous. But this Miyu Mini right here, I customized to perfection. I got the Sakura Retro Modding lime green buttons, I got the better aluminum D-pad, and then on the back I got another Sakura Retro Modding sticker to give it that official Game Boy feel, kind of like this guy right there. So this was my second device. I bought the Miyu Mini. The reason I bought this was because I felt like the Miyu Mini kind of got uncomfortable at times in the hand. So this right here, I mean, anyone who wants to get into emulation should probably start with this device. This is probably one of my favorite devices. That was to say, up until I got this guy. And the reason this one is now my favorite device, and this is the Tremue Smart Pro, is because it feels so comfortable in your hands. It feels exactly like the PS Vita, and I love the PS Vita, and this thing right here, it just feels so great in your hands, and being able to play Portmaster so easily. Like, you can just go on the system, there's a Portmaster app, and it gives you all of the games. You can just click and download. It just makes it very seamless and easy. And also the power. You know, you can play PSP games at 1 to 2x resolution, no problem. And I feel like, since this is kind of like the PSP in terms of the build, it just works so well. So this is my favorite emulation device currently out of all of them. So this is the Tremue Smart Pro. Let's go ahead and put it right over here. Let's see. Next is the RG35XX-SP. It's a mouthful. I just call it the RGSP, but I customized this thing. I wanted it to look like a mini PlayStation, and I feel like, oh my god, like, look how pretty this looks. Like, all these designs and whatnot, just these stickers, they look absolutely amazing. And look at that, like, it's just so pretty. I always wanted a Game Boy SP as a kid. I never got one, but now I'm an adult and I have a disposable income. I can get kind of whatever I want, and I finally got something that's kind of like the Game Boy SP. And to be honest, I don't play as much on this as I wish. I love it, but for some reason I just gravitate back to the Miyu Mini Plus, and then also the Tremue Smart Pro. I just got this as kind of a collector's item, and I made it all pretty just because I love these things. Alright, next I got the Nintendo DS. I forgot which version this is, but I think this was a spontaneous purchase. Like, I was at a Target one day, and I was never really into the Nintendo side of things. I was more into Sony, and I just decided to grab it because it was there, and, you know, I put a few good hours into this thing, but I didn't really get into this as much as I did. Let's see, what's in here? Yeah, this is what I really got into as a kid. The PSP. This, when it came out, was mind-blowing. To have something that was close to PlayStation 1 graphics, maybe a little bit better, in the palm of your hand back in the day. Oh man, this thing was absolutely amazing. It became very popular. A lot of people like to put videos on this device. Yeah, this device is absolutely one of my favorite devices growing up. I know I'm saying that a lot, but I really love all of my handhelds. And one thing that I was like thinking about is even the newer emulation systems, like, take care of them, because one day they too will become retro, you know? 10, 20 years from now, these things are going to be archaic, I guess, or very difficult to find. Maybe that's a better way of explaining it. And they themselves will one day maybe worth some money. Who knows? So for the PSP, I gotta reach around here. Ugh. These, oh man, how much do I miss physical gaming, or whatever, physical copies. I feel like that's a thing of the past, which is really sad. I loved it when it was like you bought it and you own it. You know, companies can't just take it away from you once you give them your hard-earned cash. I wish we can go back to that, but, you know, that's never happening. But here, let's go ahead and go through this. I got Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. This game was awesome. I absolutely love this game. Then I got the SOCOM. My friends and I actually played co-op, believe it or not, on the PSP. We would play for hours together, just kicking back on Friday nights with our PSPs and playing SOCOM. This one's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, I think anyone who had a PSP had Wipeout Pure. Classic game. This one was mind-blowing. Having Grand Theft Auto in the palm of your hand, again, was amazing. And the story was really good. I remember enjoying this game. However, the controls were a little bit difficult to get used to. Twisted Metal. This was actually the first game I bought on the PSP. And yeah, I mean, it's a good game. It's nothing to write home about. Now here is where we start getting into some of the classics of like why the PSP was such a great system. Here we have God of War. This game, once again, mind-blowing graphics for the system. I'm gonna try and make sure I play Jenga correctly here. Daxter, another fantastic game. There's like a memory card in there. And then I put a lot of hours into this game. It's called World Tour Soccer. And I remember being in class and hiding my PSP and listening to music and playing this game, and this kept me busy. Didn't do well in school though. I'm blaming the PSP. So, that's the PSP. Next up we got, I guess we're not going in order anymore. We're not going in order. This was my first Game Boy Advance. So, I didn't get the SP, but I begged and begged and begged. One Christmas, I got the Game Boy Advance. I love this white color. I just remember playing Final Fantasy Tactics for hours. I just got like completely enthralled in the world, and I remember just being so happy that I can just put this in my pocket and just whip it out and play whenever I want. What do I have in here? Oh, Metroid. We got Broken Sword. This was a fantastic game. Really enjoyed that. We got here's my favorite game, Final Fantasy Tactics. We got Mario Kart. We got F-14 Tomcat. Again, this was kind of like a spontaneous buy. I think it was like in the bargain bin, and I love aircraft, so I was like, why not? And then we got this is a good game, Wario Land 4. I'm actually playing that on my Mini right now. This is a fun game. Never really beat it, that's why I'm revisiting it. This is my DS cover. We got two more games. We got Advance Wars and Tony Hawk. And I think this was my first game. So the first game that I got on the Game Boy Advance was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, and I played the shit out of this game. Super fun on the Game Boy Advance. And one thing that was interesting back then is because you had these physical copies, you really spent time, and you like, how do I say this? You spent a lot of time with these games, and they really captured your attention because you didn't get choice paralysis. You only had a few games. I remember when I first got the system, like I said, I only had Tony Hawk. So whenever I wanted to play a game, that was the game I was playing. Now I have thousands and thousands and thousands of games to choose from, and sometimes I find myself just being unable to decide. And yeah, next up we got the PS Vita. This system had so much potential, and unfortunately it just kind of never picked up. But what this could do back in the day, even now, honestly, was just groundbreaking. And I remember playing Uncharted on this, and I was just so amazed that I could play Uncharted on a handheld. And the thing that I loved about this, there's another game, what is it called? Is it Tearaway? Yeah, I think it's called Tearaway. And they made use of these, I guess it's like a touchpad in the back. And this is what made the Vita so cool and unique, was you had these weird controls that you can actually interact with on the back of the system. And for instance, in Tearaway, you would be playing the game and you can like poke through the world with your fingers because the sensors are actually reading where you're touching. So you can actually see your fingers moving in game, and you can manipulate the world with your fingers, which is just really cool. And there was a front-facing camera, which also was very unique in the game Tearaway they made use of. So this was a very cool device that Sony made that just never really picked up, unfortunately. In terms of games, let's go ahead and power this guy on. Man, I could have sworn I turned this thing off and the battery's just draining like crazy. Okay, so we got Sly Cooper, we got Killzone, Mercenary, Rayman Origin, God of War, Gravity Rush, Metal Gear Solid HD, Uncharted, and Tearaway. So, yeah, this system was fantastic. It's just unfortunate it never got the support that I wish it had. Let's go ahead and turn this guy off. Next up, we got the Nintendo 3DS XL. I modded this. There's a video that I did on it, and I wish I modded it sooner because, man, I have now a ton of games on it. Games that I've always wanted to play, but I just never really invested money into buying new games for this system. But my God, it is absolutely amazing to play Virtual Boy in 3D. I never had a Virtual Boy growing up, so being able to kind of experience it with that 3D element is just awesome. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend picking one up because you can mod it and it is a fantastic device that, yeah, we'll see what happens with the emulation scene at Nintendo, who knows, but I'm happy that I have this. This is such an amazing item. In terms of DS, let me grab these. Ooh. We're gonna kind of jump back here. So in terms of DS and 3DS games, so let's see what I have. I got Super Mario Brothers. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. Playing video game Jenga. Okay, so next I got Resident Evil Revelations GameStop edition. Always fun to grab that. And look, how much was this? This was $19. I don't think I bought it for 19 bucks. I think I had a coupon or something, but definitely. I have Bravely Default, good game. I have Xenoblade Chronicles, another good game. Classic. Zelda in 3D, fantastic. Pokemon. And we got, I don't know why I have this, Brain Voyage. I have played it too. I don't know why. It's just an interesting game. This game was fun. The Curious, what is it called? Professor Layton and the Curious Village. Never beat it. I put maybe a few hours into it and got bored. This I love. Grand Theft Auto Chinatown. And I'm actually playing this game on the Tremu Smart Pro. Fantastic game. And then the good old Resident Evil. So those were the games that I had for the 3DS and the DS. Let me just put that over there. So those are the games that I had for the 3DS and the DS. Now, moving along, we're almost done. I got a Razer Edge. Oh man, I remember when so here's the story on why I got the Razer Edge. I really wanted to get into emulation after getting the Mii U, and I wanted something a little bit more powerful. And I was reading so many reviews, rave reviews about the first Odin Pro. And I ended up buying it, and it was the worst experience because the company just never sent out the device. We wanted it before my now wife bought it for me. And we wanted it for a Christmas gift. And she was just like, where is it? It's November. It's like mid-November. I haven't heard back. I bought this like a month ago. Where is this device? And it took forever, but they finally, it came like a day before Christmas. So I was super stoked. I opened it up and I was so disappointed at the performance. The PS2 performance was just god awful. So I was pretty bummed, to be honest, and I ended up returning it, and that was a pain in the ass in its own right. So after I returned the Odin, I ended up just not having a Christmas present, which I was like, whatever, come on, I'm an adult. But my girl felt bad. And I saw one day online, because I always wanted this device, but it was just way too expensive. I was like, I'm not paying $400 for this thing. So I just said, screw it. I'm just going to wait until something better comes along. And I had my eye on this for a long time. And finally, one day, I went on eBay and I found one for $175, which is insane for what you're getting. So I ended up pulling the trigger. I said, screw it. I hope it's not broken. I hope it's not damaged. And it came in perfect condition, still in the box. And yeah, I started playing this and I was like, yes, this is how PS2 emulation should be. The Odin was terrible. I'm sure the Odin 2 now is amazing. I've heard really good things about it, but for when I bought this and for how much I purchased this for, this thing gets the job done. So I really love the Razer Edge. However, it doesn't get that much playtime. I don't know why. I just think you kind of gravitate towards certain systems more. Like for me, it's my Miyu Mini, which is right over here, the Miyu Mini, the Tremu Smart Pro, and lastly, the big boy, the Steam Deck. This here takes the cake. This wins the prize. This device is one of the best handhelds ever made, in my opinion. I love the Steam Deck. Just being able to have my entire Steam library. I'm actually, what is the award? I think I have 21 years of service, which kind of gives you my age, with Steam. So you can imagine my Steam library is gigantic. And being able to play most of those games on a handheld device is amazing. I travel quite a bit, so whenever I have downtime and I'm alone in my Airbnb or hotel, I put the HDMI in, I grab my controller, kick back, I turn on the TV, and I just game. And it kind of just makes you feel a little bit closer to home, because that's kind of what I do when I'm at home anyways. And being able to play this on the go has been fantastic, like on airplanes, just everywhere. This thing is amazing. However, I don't take this like when I'm going on a day trip or whatever, going to a coffee shop. I'll just bring my Tremu or my Miyu Mini and game with that. But regardless, when I'm at home kicking back and my girl and I are watching like reality TV, I'll be playing with the Steam Deck. And yeah, this thing is absolutely amazing. I got just some custom, what do you call these, thumbstick covers, and this trackpad cover, which I just love the design. And then I put, you know, I'm a huge Half-Life fan, so got a Half-Life sticker there, as well as in the back, in the battery compartment. Alright, there you have it. This is my crazy video game collection. I know it's a bit of a mess. Maybe I'll try and be a little bit more organized next time. However, I'm pretty new to this YouTube thing. Yeah, and I hope I gained a new subscriber. This is a new channel. Comment if you want, and yeah, until next time, thanks for watching.